Hello and welcome to this episode of Class is in Session. I'm your host, Ashley Stevens, and this show exclusively on Black Enterprise highlights the latest happenings inside HBCU classrooms, public policy issues facing these historic institutions, the business side of HBCU sports, and we also highlight HBCU leaders, students, and alumni who are on the move and making major moves in business. One of those special guests today that we're honored to have is Kiyana Pearson. In a market forecasted to reach $21.6 billion by 2025, Tress Clean stands out as an innovator in the billion-dollar braid, lock, and natural hair care industry. Inspired by Kiyana's own personal experience, she's embarked upon a mission to revolutionize hair care with Tress Clean's rinse-free braid, lock, and scalp refreshing wipes. So yes, a wipe that you can take for your braids and locks while you're on the go and while you're on travel. So today we're going to discuss the benefits of having a product for men and women on the go, the importance of using natural ingredients, and Kiyana's journey into entrepreneurship in one of the biggest global industries, and her HBCU's role in preparing her to be an innovator and disruptor. Hello and welcome, Kiyana.
Hi, thank you. Thank you so much for having me. How are you?
I'm great. I'm glad to have you. Loving your artwork back there. Your whole
Thank
vibe is just
you.
sunny and bright. Tell me where you are, and then tell me where you're from.
So I am here in the sunny Miami, Florida, the eclectic island of Miami, Florida, right? It's a state, but it's an island really. I'm from Baltimore, Maryland, born and raised.
Awesome. So you mentioned Baltimore. Now tell us a little bit about the HBCU that you chose and why you chose that HBCU.
So I went to Morgan State University, go Bears. and I chose Morgan State University for so many different reasons. My mother early on embraced culture in raising us. She raised three children, three girls, we're all 7 years apart. And Black culture was always a part of my lifestyle. And of course, us being 7 years apart, I was able to kind of watch my sister go through her journey. And so I watched my sister pick her college, and she ended up going to Coppin State College. And so seeing her go to a Black school, an HBCU, made me say, this is what I want as well. I noticed the support that she received from them. Being from Maryland and being a mommy's girl, I wanted to stay close to home. So for me, it was either Howard or Morgan, Coppin, or actually we have a private HBCU in Baltimore called Sojourner Douglas College, founded by my uncle, Dr. Charles Simmons. And so I wanted to find something that was suitable for me. And so Morgan State ended up being it. I crossed that bridge and I said, you know what? This is where I'm supposed to be.
I love to hear that it ended up being the right fit for you.
Yeah.
What did you study, and how did your HBCU education help prepare you for the journey you're on now as an entrepreneur?
So I actually studied radio production. I started my career in communications, and my HBCU actually prepared me to have independence. And that was so important for me because I was able to maneuver through life on my own. Not that it necessarily needed to be on my own, but it gave me the opportunity to realize that, okay, you know what? Maybe you don't have this, you don't have that opportunity, you don't have this funding, you're not going to have, a guide, a path to actually navigate you through life. And so giving me that independence allowed me to realize that I had to kind of work through things step by step. And although I'm no longer in radio production, I did start my career in radio. I started off actually producing commercials. I have taken all of that education and that knowledge to put forth in the business. So understanding, marketing and advertising and promoting. So I was able to continue with the journey that I'm in now with everything that I've learned from school.
Got it. Glad to hear that your HBCU taught you independence. And that's
Yeah.
obviously very important as you're an innovator, you're a disruptor in the hair care and beauty space. We are here with Kiyana Pearson. She's a proud Morgan State alumna, and she is the founder of Tress Clean. They are hair wipes, refreshing hair wipes for braids, locks, and your scalp. Kiyana, tell us about Tress Clean. What about it and what makes it unique?
So what makes it unique, first off, is the brand itself. I wanted to make sure that I embodied myself in the brand, which is culture, having that eclectic feel. And so when I was developing the brand and the product, sometimes I would shift. And of course, being creative, I'm throwing in different ideas and different designing. And I had to remember, and sometimes my family have to kind of put me back on track, like, remember your brand, remember what it is that you're trying to stick to. Remember what it is that you're trying to educate people about with the brand and the business. And so I actually didn't have a desire to be a part of the huge beauty industry. That wasn't my plan at all. It ended up coming about because I had a need for myself. I've always worn braids. My family is a loc family. And so the product came out of need. I was always in search for, what can I do to deodorize my hair? What can I do to cleanse my hair? And using other products, although they really didn't work for me, I continued to use them. And so I developed this product to cleanse your hair, deodorize your hair for a busy lifestyle when traditional washing isn't an option. And she was born.
That's exciting to hear. Now, how many years ago did you launch Tress Care? And let's talk
So
about, starting that up. Did you have startup funds? Did you have investors? What has that journey been like as an entrepreneur in a new space?
So I didn't come from a family of retail and e-commerce, of having a tangible product. So I didn't have that, step-by-step playbook on how to navigate myself to getting to where I am now.
Mhm.
Um, I realized that I had to teach myself. So the idea came out in my head. I scratched that out of my head back in 2018. So it wasn't something that I had planned. Again, it wasn't like that episode of Martin when they got the money and they're looking for, some kind of business and it's like rent a spoons. Like, that wasn't the case. I didn't have a desire to be an entrepreneur. I wanted to do radio, and that's what I wanted to do. That's where I started my career. And so in 2018, I said to myself, okay, what am I going to do myself for my hair? How am I going to deodorize and cleanse my hair? And so I started looking into that myself, started playing with essential oils and herbs. And I realized that in order to actually deodorize your hair, you have to cleanse your hair, right? We wouldn't put perfume on, our bodies that aren't cleansed. So I said, you have to actually cleanse your scalp, right? And I wanted to protect my investment. When you think of washing your braids or washing your locks, time is invested in that, and you really don't always have that time to do so. I didn't want to age my style by having that old shaggy look, by, dousing my hair in water. And so once I realized that, oh, a wet wipe, that really might work, I started playing around with other wet wipes, baby wipes and makeup wipes, which really wasn't what I needed for my hair and my scalp, because of course it had some challenges with that. And so I started playing around with textiles and nonwovens to see what type of materials that I wanted to use. I wanted to make sure that I was looking at the right ingredients for my hair because, of course, Black hair care have never really been led by Black entrepreneurs. And so these people don't know exactly what we need for our hair particularly, right?
Right.
And so once I realized what it was that I needed to do, I needed to make sure that I took out those harsh chemicals. We grew up on relaxers and then gaining so many different medical issues out of that. So I wanted to make sure that I was using the right ingredients to get to the end result. I wanted to make sure I was getting to the root of the problem, no pun intended,
Mhm.
so that we can create, a healthier base for our hair. And I wanted to make sure that, like I said, we were protecting our investment and continuing to look good while wearing our braids and locks. And that's kind of where it all came from.
Love to hear that. That's really interesting. So, are the wipes effective on various hair types?
Yes. So it's effective on various hair types. It is a wet wipe. So, of course, you don't want to use it on like straight, relaxed hair because you don't want your straight, relaxed hair to go back in its curly form. But it is. It is for all hair types. It's all natural. It's for men, women, the elderly, the disabled, your children. So it's convenient for the whole family.
I love to hear this. What's been the response to Tress Clean so far?
So overwhelming. And it's a blessing. It's a blessing because I have actually started selling last year. So I'm a year in. And I didn't start off with advertising. I would reach out to influencers and I would have them kind of test and review the product. And that's kind of how people started finding out about it. A lot of my consumers actually come from word of mouth. And so the fact that I just started my advertising and I did so well throughout the year without having to do that was a blessing and gave me the knowledge to know that people need this. And
Mm-hmm.
sometimes I'll get that response of, emails or DMs like, I love this so much, or this helped me. I had, seborrheic dermatitis and it actually helps cleanse the flakes and the dryness in the scalp. And thank you. And so sometimes I get discouraged because, I am a small business owner. There isn't the mentorship that we would like to have. And so hearing from my consumers how much they love the product or how it helped them, for me, keeps me going for sure.
Very encouraged to hear, Kiyana, that in spite of not having the mentorship, you've been able to press forward. The response has been positive. It's definitely a product that's useful. I mean, I'm someone in media. I'm often on the go. I love wearing braids. They're such a regal look. Lots of my friends now have transitioned to locks. And I think this is going to be so convenient just to have a product like this on hand to take with us just to freshen up in between actual washes. Like that's really, really convenient. Really convenient.
Yeah, and washing your hair, like I said, is so time consuming. Not just the process of washing, but drying. And if you don't properly dry your hair, then there's another problem because then, you have that odor on top of that. So,
True.
yes, it's perfect for busy lifestyles. You have, parents out there who are working and, they have their kids in activities. You hang out at the new cigar lounges and restaurants with horrible exhaust systems. You leave out smelling like fried chicken and lamb chops. You go into the next spot and you don't want to go smelling like food. So these are perfect, to throw in your bag, your car, to be able to kind of cleanse your beard after, that cigar that you've had at the lounge. So they're perfect for that busy lifestyle in between washing. Absolutely. They don't replace washing because you still do want to wash your hair.
Hmm.
But, we can't do it as often as we like. So it provides that convenience.
Got it. Convenience and cleanliness. I like that. And Kiyana, why was it important for you to use natural products in Tress Clean?
So, as I mentioned, growing up, my mother was a stylist. And so we started relaxing our hair fairly early. And as I got older, I was told that I developed fibroids. And of course, you never know exactly where that derives from, right? But then, of course, you start getting educated and you learn, what you put in and on your body is very important. And so once I realized, dang, maybe I have these fibroids from the chemicals that I put on my hair for so long.
Mm.
Once I started trying other products, and sometimes it would create more buildup and, flaking and dryness. I'm like, okay, I got to figure this out. And I want to do it in an all natural way. I want to make sure that I'm including the nutrients so that we can have a natural, healthy follicle to start from. We want ourselves to look good, but it's not just about looking good. It's about feeling good and putting that health at the forefront. So I wanted to make sure that I included all natural ingredients so that it was safe again for everyone, from children to the elderly.
Got it. Got it. It makes a lot of sense as well, right? So that folks, no matter their age, can and hair type, that they're able to use these products because the ingredients are natural. That's a really big deal. Kudos to you on that. We
Thank
are here with
you.
Kiyana Pearson. She's a Morgan State alumna, and she's the founder of Tress Clean hair wipes for your scalp, braids, and locks. It's going to be so convenient when you're on the go and in between washes to have these hair wipes. Kiyana, you studied radio production in college, but you ended up being by default an entrepreneur, a chemist, a cosmetologist to kind of put all these things together to form your company. Tell us, what were some of your biggest challenges, particularly as a Black woman, new entrepreneur in the hair and beauty space?
Well, studying radio production came with many other facets, right? I had to learn, like I said, marketing and my target niche audience and PR. Like I had to learn all of those things while I'm learning the art of producing radio commercials. And so my challenges were okay, because I'm still a full time employee of the federal government. And so I realized, okay, well, this is what I need. I need X, Y, and Z. I know what I need, but I don't have time to do that. And so my challenge was, well, what do I do? And so I had to map out what it was that I needed for the business to actually get it out there and get, awareness of my brand and the actual product, especially because it's a new concept. People like people are like, wipe your hair, what? So it was new. It was, wasn't a concept that they understood. And so my challenge was, do I continue doing everything alone, or do I go ahead and reach out to other people to get that assistance? And now I'm realizing, okay, I can't do everything alone. So like I said, I was taking what I learned from school and I've put it into what I needed for the business now. And I was able to kind of, wear a different hat to say, okay, well, now I need to talk to this person about this, or I need to talk to this person about that. And so it allowed me to bring things back to the forefront. Sometimes you can't always be in the same thing. I started my career in radio, but that's not where I ended up. And so
Mm-hmm.
sometimes you have to learn how to pivot. And so my biggest challenge was learning how to pivot. And so now that I've realized that, you have to kind of take a step back and see what is the actual challenge in creating this brand and creating this product and getting it out there. I always learn how to reel it back. A lot of people say, well, how do you continue to do when you don't have, the steps that are laid out for you? And
Mm.
so my challenge was having the time to actually teach myself, to reach out to certain people. And like I said, I always bring it back to the forefront, and I'll take a step back. I'll look at what it is that I need, and I'll jump over those hurdles one day at a time. A lot of people say, well, what is your 5-year goal, or what is your 10-year goal? I don't worry about that. I worry about today's goal.
Mm.
Yeah. So although I have many challenges, I iron them out day by day.
I like to hear that you're taking a very present minded approach of what can I tackle today, what can get done to solve today's today's issues, right? I think that's very wise. And we've talked a little bit about the challenges. Kiyana, what have been some of your wins in this space as a new entrepreneur?
So again, the feedback from the customers telling me how much they love the product, the overall success that I've created for myself thus far, being the first Black woman to actually create such a product. There are actually now, when I first started, there were no competitors. I didn't have anyone else out there that I had to worry about. And so now we do have a few competitors, which is okay because, it is a large market. We can all get some. But it lets me know that I knew what was needed. It tells me that I
Yes.
was on the right path, and I'm just going to continue going. So the win for me is seeing the overall final product, the project in itself, hearing my family be so proud and boast about my business. And those are my major wins. It's like, wow, like here it was an idea. It was just a concept. It was something that I just thought about. And again, not because I wanted to be an entrepreneur, but out of need for myself. And I didn't want to be that gatekeeper. I wanted to share it with everybody. I wanted everybody to have healthy scalps, like a healthy scalp for you, a healthy scalp for you. And
Yes.
so my wins is being able just to see the final product. And it's like, wow, that's my baby. That's my
Hmm.
baby. She is
And that
here. She has arrived.
arrived, and you should be proud. You should
Thank
be
you.
proud that from conceptualization all the way to product development, you made it happen. You made it happen.
And I did it all myself, actually.
Wow.
So I built my own website, my own chemist. I did the formula myself. I did my testing myself. Again, it wasn't overnight. I tested the product for 3 years. We wanted to make sure the shelf life was going to hold up. We wanted to make sure that our ingredients were going to hold up and not irritate people's sensitive scalps. And so, yeah, I'm just so thankful and I'm so proud of myself. I
You
didn't
should
have
be.
that support. A lot of women have, spousal help, or it was me. I don't have that. And so I was able to kind of step away from that lifestyle and focus on my project.
Kiana, kudos to you because you're right. Oftentimes in professional journeys, we often do hear, women, and nothing wrong with it, that said, well, my spouse helped me do this, my partner helped me do this. And that's not the case for all of us.
Right.
And that you did this on your own, all of it, the product development, testing, pushing it out to market, website, pitching it, marketing. You did this on your own. You deserve to pat yourself on the back.
Well, thank
Kiana, you really do.
in my HBCU, pretty much like I said early on, instilled independence in me. And so that still comes to the forefront with the business. I'm able to be independent. I'm able to teach myself. I was able to do my own trademarks. I did everything all by myself, all about the package designing. Everything I did alone. And I took it, like I said, step by step. I taught myself day by day. YouTube University has really taught me a lot as well. So I try to embrace, education and reading so that I'm able to put forth the effort and the energy in creating my business.
This is so exciting to hear. And Kiana, for those who are tuning in and watching, and you talk about the independence, one that your HBCU, Morgan State University, helped instill in you to create, from product development all the way to completion, your product, Tress Clean hair wipes for scalp, braid, and locks. Did you have financial support? Did you have investors? Did you do pitch competitions? How did you fund this vision?
So let me start off with saying I am queen of the introverts. Um, I mean, from a child to now, I hide. So the fact that I'm open to doing podcasts and showing myself is so difficult for me. And so I say that to say, of course, there are pitch contests out there, right? And sometimes I would sign up for those pitch contests, and come the day of, I would chicken out. I was just afraid of showing myself, which then comes into, okay, you know what? You need help. You need to reach out to others. Maybe you have someone out there who specializes in this. This is what they do, so talk to some other people. But in regards to funding, no, we are extremely underfunded when it comes to business. And so I didn't want that to get in the way of my project. And so, no, I saved money. I used my savings, and as I said, the business was not an overnight success. The idea came in 2018, and actually in 2018, I gave myself what I needed when I started talking to distributors and manufacturers. I did a poor man's patent, something that was taught to me from my university. Um, so I started actually doing the development of the business in 2020. So in 2022, when I actually started creating the product, at this point, I already have a name for myself. Everything is already in the state listings. So now I'm able to apply for loans under the business, not my personal name, under the business. I'm able to get credit under the business. And so, like I said, because it wasn't an overnight success, I was able to take the proper steps and start getting the funding on my own. And of course, that's not exactly what you want. You don't want to take out business credit cards and run everything up. But the success for me, being able to actually gain that profit, of course, I was able to pay it all back to make sure I kept that intact. But no, I funded everything all on my own, which again is
Remarkable.
a gain for me.
No, I'm very proud of you, honestly. And I
Thank
think
you.
that students who may be watching this, and even budding entrepreneurs, may have a lot to learn. And so I want to ask Kiana, what advice would you give to college students, especially HBCU students, who desire to start their own businesses? Because again, you didn't set out to start a business, you set out to solve a need and fulfill a gap that you personally had while you're on the move and on the go, and want to make sure that you have a hair care solution that is convenient and works for you.
So my advice, of course, would be to embrace who you are first. Embrace the creativity that you have. Find your passion. Understand that it's not always going to lead to success. Being open enough to be able to pivot. You have to start somewhere. Sometimes you have to stop. You have to start again. You have to stop. You have to redevelop things. You have to learn how to pivot. And that's my big thing. As long as you take the education that you've learned, take the knowledge that you've instilled in yourself, gaining the independence, not only in yourself, but remembering some of the things that the others taught you. Like I said, you have to be able to stop, start again, remember exactly where you came from so that you can take all of that knowledge into the future. So my biggest thing is don't be afraid, just start. It's not going to always lead to success. It's not going to always lead to the ending final goal that you planned on, but learning how to maneuver around that, taking another path, So my advice is to just embrace, life for what it is, and be willing to make those changes to get to where you need to be.
Very inspiring and impactful words from Kiyana Pearson. Glad to hear this, and you share this advice with other fellow HBCU students. Kiyana, tell us, where can folks purchase your products?
So I have a website, tressclean.com. I'm also on Amazon. So, of course, you can search our name, Tress Clean. You'll see our reviews, the success stories from others who have tried this, again, new concept of cleansing and deodorizing your hair.
Love to hear it. Love to hear it. Kudos and continued congratulations to you, Kiyana Pearson. Thank you for being here on Classes in Session.
Thank you for having me again. It was a pleasure.
Absolutely glad to have you. And for everyone watching this episode, be sure to share it with friends. Morgan State, all the Bears, be sure to share this with alumni and current students and administrators. We want to get the word out about all that Kiyana has been doing and is currently doing to really keep momentum going on her own self-started, self-funded business, Tress Clean. Hair wipes that deodorize and cleanse your scalp, braids, and locks, especially when you're on the go. There they are. Love to see the product there. There's the packaging. So you can find that on her website and as well on Amazon. And also her very helpful advice to just embrace where you are, be willing to pivot, and also be able to have the independence to step out on your own, to step out on your faith, to develop that product or that service that is fulfilling a need, either for you personally and or for your community. Kiyana, is exciting to see you shine and turn a personal problem into your passion, a profitable passion at that. So we're continuing to wish you all the best. And again, be sure to keep it locked on all of Black Enterprise's social media channels and on our website for the latest and greatest digital content at blackenterprise.com. For this episode of Class is in Session, I'm your host, Ashley Stevens, and class is dismissed.